Hola, bom dia. Welcome to Portugal for the World Beach Ultimate Championships 2025. It is finals day at last, and we have a matchup in the making. It is going to be hot out here on the sands of the Praia de Roche, as we see going toe-to-toe Germany and Australia. Oh my goodness, what a campaign and a mixed division we've had. Myself, Hannah Pendlebury on the call alongside Stefan Rapazzo. Steph, the Mud Crabs, 0 and 5 in the power pool stages. What's going on?
Yeah, unbelievable the way the two paths these two teams have taken. Bizarrely different. The Mud Crabs have absorbed they had a hot start, and then the power pools, they played with their systems. They knew that they could get away with some losses. They have defended some of those losses. A couple they just took, but they are a team that is getting hot at the right moment, and they are looking very strong for the time being. They just finished their route of Belgium before going through the Czech Republic, but the power pools were a wild ride for them. Now you take a look at the bracket here. Australia, they beat Italy. That was the big one for them, and I think when everybody took note of Australia as a potential contender at that stage, then they move on, knock off Belgium, who've had a good campaign, but maybe some expectations there. The Czechs after, and then we get into this finals here. The Australia game taking on the Czechs in semis. The Czechs had just come off knocking off Canada, and I think a lot of eyes were on them.
They certainly were. It has been a really great campaign, as you say, for the Mud Crabs. Of course, Czechia had an amazing time out on the club level. Lots of those FOI players coming across the sands. They, of course, went to take on the bronze later on in the day, but Germany rather undoing what we expected to be an amazing Spanish team. They played so well against the Aussies earlier on in the tournament on our showcase arena pitch. You can have a look at some of the spills there. Patricia Navassa a little bit disconnected, coming on as fresh legs later in the tournament. But my oh my, the throws of this German side, the Sandstrom really ripping around the sands in Portimão.
Germany, Sandstrom showing their sandstorm. They've got a weather frog of a mascot that this one here backs and says is legit. Levka Volchak, an absolute dynamo coming off the heels of a U.S. national championship campaign. She won over in Asia earlier this year. Big name on the World Game circuit, and is maybe as strong or stronger on the sand. An absolute dynamo. She can move in small spaces. She can cut up field. She's got touch. She's got power throw. There's very little that the number 42 for Germany cannot do. She's been getting it done all week long. The big win against US, she was awesome. And now every win is starting to feel a bit more and more inevitable.
Well, and of course we saw Levka Volchak with a bit of a breakout season in 2019, featured on the beach roster that got second, as well as, of course, under 24s. But Jake Wilson, what a shooter. Look at that for assists. 24 and 11 goals. Some folks have been asking if the Mud Crabs may play a little bit of dude ball, and this guy is balling out here in Portugal.
Yeah, Jake Wilson from down in Melbourne, one of the Haas boys, and we all know heads of state, they are different custard down there. I don't know what they're made of, but whatever they're putting in their breakfast drinks is working out. Jake Wilson having a blinder. And Hannah, we're underway, mixed final. Here we go.
Indeed, Betty Tan getting things started in the centre pocket. Has Wilson reaches high. Gonna rip it into the deep space, chasing it down. Oh, it's the big man. Just trots through. Jack Gray. But a hand block on the line. Well, Yanis Gauga, after getting roofed, puts a couple of tiles.
Wow, the Australian tall timber does the job, but the push pass blocked up, gobbled by Gauger.
Very intense defense. Nice effort from Targa. Just dishes through to Herkins. Although the World Games athletes, but he throws into traffic. That one easy for Betty Tan, but well, we're getting a scrappy point to start, aren't we?
A flurry of turns. Herkins' shot was not enough on it, but then given straight back into the sand on a short offer.
Wolf around. Nice separation, no ability to make the layout play. Oh, and just the most casual leading backhand in front of Emilia Winter, and it's a block and a break out of the starting gate for the Germans.
And they go straight into the Sandstorm celebration there. The namesake of the German beach team, and something I didn't really love at the start of the tournament. They didn't have their choreography as tight then, but the more they do it, the more they win, the more they break, the more I've been enjoying it. This German Sandstrom, a heck of an outfit and breaking to start.
Well, we're going to throw it down to the sidelines. We've got Benjamin Reeves. Benji, what's the insight?
It is a beautiful day down here on the sands of the Pride of Russia. I cannot speak enough about how it is pretty much ideal ultimate conditions. Just a little breath of wind coming off the Atlantic, but it feels like a game where offenses really should be able to open up the locker and go with whatever throw they've got in the toolbox.
Well, Benji, that wasn't a clean point. What's the vibe down there?
I think both sides are still kind of feeling each other out a little bit. Obviously, they had the matchup in power pools that ended in a big German win. And certainly for them, getting a break to start the game is putting them in a pretty strong position early.
Well, Benji Reeves, thank you. We'll check in with you a little bit later on. Another very deep pull from the German D-line. Reeve on the underneath. Around to Blacklock. Out of bounds call. Perkins just doing a double check.
Asking for the sniffer dog.
Not unclear what the reason for the elongation of this stoppage is, Steph.
Nor I, not one single bit. I mean, there was a potential in-out call. And then a bit of movement. Holly Reeve returned to her place, and we're back in play though, Hannah.
Blacklock. Oh, what a grab from Reeve as she scrambles around. Young is going to uncork it deep. Blacklock with a tasty grab on the goal line and supported very well by Annalise Hedich, and the Aussies are on the board.
They're going to need that. Nobody is going to want to fall behind ever, but especially not against this German team that have been so good. They got broken. They come right back, put one on. They're drawing hearts into the camera. They're feeling it, and they've got their first hold. The Aussies got a lot of towers out there. Big dudes that can take down the Hucks, and it is a little bit of the Australian style to stand and deliver, set up and isolate one at a time. It's a bit of old school ultimate, and they're working it well here. A great continuation to finish things off. Hedich cashes in, and Blacklock, the recipient of the Huck. We were talking to Anson Chun about their lines. I'm pretty sure that was the flex line there that scored. They got broken. They go O-line, D-line, and the flex. They'll call the odd power line, but he says they're pretty happy. They've had all these games. They've used that series of losses in the power pools when it didn't matter. I'm putting up the finger quotes to really refine what they're putting out there now for lines.
Meyerhofer across to Wagner. Inside, good adjustment down pitch by Charlotte Schall. Of course, fresh off a European grass gold. Oh, and a throw to danger, but it just about escapes the laying form and into the paws of Liv Kovalchuk. But that was some tasty defense from Hannah Gregory.
Was it ever? I thought when it went up, I thought it was money in the bank, and you saw that streak of gold flash across the front of the end zone, and doubts were planted for a small moment as that big layout came very close, a bit of foot off, but that is the kind of space you cannot afford to give to the number 42, Lev Kovalchuk. She can get you at any point on the field as we have a look at some of these German fans in the stands. Another little underlier for this game, Hannah, the 2022 World Club Championships, of course, Lunchbox, a Brisbane club, has 3 members of the Australian team here, Holly Reeves, Sam Gaunt, and Scott Perry, that were teammates with Mies Sonntag and Ava Muller, so no infamiliarities here. These people know each other very well, great friends, lots of love between them, but on this field for these 45 minutes, they'll be dismissing it and just trying to get past it. I mean, still love and spirit.
Oh no, I think that one of the wonderful things about the Ultimate community is that there is that little bit of sassy camaraderie as we get another absolute hoof of a German pull. But that little smile and smirk, I'm sure they're having some good hand slaps out here. Great. Isolation downfield, and he's going to take it. It's a ripper shot to Laura House, and she brings it. No, she does not. That looked so good, and then went with 1.
Wow, Trick Daddy would be disappointed. Just about to take it to the house there, but off the right hand that went up. That is a bit of a letdown for the Aussies. They're going to have to put some defensive pressure on to win that one back, but it was there for the taking.
That's a facial expression of an athlete who knows they could have done better. And Aaron Rolfe with Galga streaking towards the deep space, and it's going to be 1 pass offense. Surely that's going to make the mark, and it does indeed. A huge throw for Germany, their 2nd break of the game, and they are just looking a little bit extra finesse and class this morning.
Ouch is what the Aussies are going to be saying after that one. A glorious chance to score, but even more painful to have a lateral bounce and a huck go the other way to Gauger with that much space so quickly the other way. The Germans scintillating on the sand today. What a throw by Wolf.
Well, Anson Shun will be rotating through the options. They have been experimenting, doing a little bit of wizardry out here, learning their lessons from their last Asian Oceanic campaign, where, of course, they came 4th. Very different roster to the one they brought to Portimão. But Germany, of course, such a storied programme. This would be their 3rd world gold medal, and they've not been absent from the podium at the world stage, apart from last season, 2024 in Huntington Beach. Apart from that, it's been a medal every time for Sandström.
When the French ousted them on their miracle run. I think that kind of slips past a lot of people how strong this program's been. The expectation that the Americans always win, and, you know, the North American powerhouses. But this German mixed beach team has been good for always.
And, of course, there's plenty of wonderful tournaments. We talk a lot about Paganello, but Copa Tanga, run by this expensive crew, an absolute jewel in the party calendar crown. But an out-of-bounds pull after some big ones that really pinned the mud crabs back. But a brick for Alex Young. Reeve with a sneak through on the curvature on that is absolute perfection. Matt Diggins with the easy goal.
Holly Reeve stepping up to the plate and dropping a dime. That inside out on the backhand was absolutely beautiful. Found in the middle and putting one on the board for the Aussies. This is to get their D-line on the field and see if they can start getting the break train going. Holly, an absolute legend of Manly Ultimate, has been great since her early days in the sport. A true athlete, athletic talents all around, able to get up off the sand, able to change direction really well, good off the heels, and her throws second to none, especially that backhand she just put out there. Shout out Holly Reeve.
Now the Mud Crabs trailing by 2 breaks here in our gold medal matchup. But the pace has been very quick. Volchak streaking away to the deep space now, well guarded under, but Charles that fills the pocket. Pounces on the opportunity to lead to space to Charles, and that will do very nicely. Well, the offenses are starting to truly click and hum now, Steph.
They sure are, particularly this German offense. We talked to Anson, and he said, when they played Italy, they were in the midst of their rotations. They were able to, you got your Barzazzi out there. I'll put Scott Perry. He didn't do the job. We'll put a Sam Gaunt. He can go to multiple options to play defense, and he did. In that mention, he was talking a lot more of the male matching players. I think Australia, based on statistics, must run a bit more of the ball through their male matching players. Germany, on the other side, this is a team where their female matching players do a lot of the heavy lifting. They are the ones that can get major separation, keep their offensive clicking. So we'll see if Australia can make the adjustment with their female matching defenders to try and slow down Germany.
Well, sage words of wisdom from the Mud Crabs coaching set. Of course, Sarah Perkins alongside Anson Chun as the assistant coach, supported by wonderful team manager Eliza Cullen. But on the German side, no non-playing coach, Steph. They're just managing themselves. We've had Nikki Priyan not taking to the sands for a couple of games to manage their way through the brackets and pool stages.
But she's back in now.
Well, why wouldn't you want to have a wonderful athlete like Nikki Priyan get in touches? Tan through to House. Wilson with the flash away, replaced under by Gray. You can see the stature of that number 63. Big lad lashes the forehand and eyes on the prize all the way. Almost slices her head off. Inako Taga with the collection.
Great catch by Taga to keep the focus on. He's going to look at the crowd getting excited. This is nice by the Aussies. Now 2 holds. Their O-line starting to click. Another chance to get their D-line out there and find the real answers to come back against Germany. But some tidier offense coming out of Australia. Nice throw. A very focused catch from beginning to end, because first touch may have caused some doubts as we get Kalaka Cam there. And that's in true Aussie vernacular, that counts as a falcon, Hannah. Do we know what a falcon is?
We've got a very international audience, Steph, so you're going to have to explain for us.
A falcon is any time, normally a ball, but anything flying hits you in the head. And it comes from rugby league, and we won't get into the true etymology, but a falcon, a very well-known term for the Aussies.
Well, an offsides violation signalled by the game advisors. Well exploited, Jacob Blacklock. And that will give the Aussies a chance to catch up on defence. Toby Meyerhofer placing the disc back in the sand. It's been lovely to see this year teams really taking notice of offsides and time violations. You got to do the small things right. So pinned in their own end zone. Charles easily finds Luda. Well, if you're going to play zone against any set of athletes, this current iteration of the German line has some of the best throwers in the whole European scene. Wagner rips the fake. Around to Schall. A stumble, but all fine for Müller. Connecting with fellow gold medalist on the grass for BFD Shout. And the line through, nice moves from Charles. She tumbles over. Breaks around to Meyerhofer. Meyerhofer gunning up line, and squeezing through, puts the body on the sand and collects the next goal. Germany still out well in front here, 5-3, 2 breaks up.
Great patience by the Germans to navigate the zone, allow for the Aussie defense to melt into match coverage, and still inch their way in until Meyerhofer pulls off the breaching whale layout there and splashes into the end zone sand for the goal. He is a big unit, boxes out well, throws so well, and yeah, just really lays out well.
Oh, he is, Steph, but I mean, all of it is absolute pure muscle power and athleticism. Not an inch of chafe on him.
No, a graceful mountain of a man.
Indeed. Well, at the moment, it is really a case of the Mud Crabs having to find something magical on defense. I like the way they're rotating through the options, a little bit of zone there, trying to throw a different look, and that has been the kind of secret sauce that the Mud Crabs have used to get themselves to this gold medal stage. It's that experimental, keeping the opposition guessing.
Fail and adapt, and they don't have much room to fail any further, but plenty of time to adapt still.
Well, it has been a pretty commendable performance for the Germans, not giving a break opportunity yet. McClay seeking an option, puts through to Gray. Now Wilson. Oh, that's just an overshoot, but well defended. Business just making sure. Of course, that being the Wall City nickname, they've got two Pauls, Party and Business. Tan tries to get a sneak through, but leaves herself exposed, and it's a wonderful forehand, just sails back down to earth at the perfect moment for Lisa Schutz.
What a throw by Amelia Winter on a team full of so many World Games FMPs. You know, Greta Melica and Amelia Winter, the two that were not in that esteemed distinction. And you know, you don't look past them at all, but when they're gonna get on this field and start dropping dimes like that, making plays, and I feel they have, particularly Amelia Winter has been getting it done and providing so much, including this one to Schutz. We're going to throw it down to Benji Reese at field level. He's got some insights for us.
It's interesting that over the last couple of points, the wind has noticeably picked up, and already we're seeing teams make adjustments. Australia, of course, came out with the zone defense on their last D point. We saw that overthrow there as well from the Australians, just struggling a little bit to adapt to the conditions with that particular throw. The game has followed a pretty similar pattern so far, with Germany roughly trading 2 for 1 each time. I think it's so important for Australia to make sure they get the hold here so they can't let the Germans escape further away before half-time.
No insights there from the sidelines. It's another good pull from Germany. Chua through to Reeve. Oh, look at the speed for Blacklock. Spicy up line. Young switching and dishing. Reeve grinding to try and get free in the underspace, but it's going to be a high stall option to the soft side of the field, and that is a visionary biscuit, naffled up by Blacklock.
They made it work. They found their way in, but it was tightly covered once they got in the red zone. German defense was in the pocket, but not to be denied was Jacob Blacklock, the youngster, 26-year-old Canberra native, a Fishwick kind of guy, and loves getting in the end zone. That is where he shines the most. Another bit of the tall timber, the Australian gum tree unit gets big and ensures, while Gauger tries to do everything getting horizontal to deny.
Well, of course, there are some teams that will leave this championship a little bit bitter, feeling that they should have been in this match. Of course, it's been wonderful to have such parity in our mixed division. Of course, one of the biggest stories of the tournament, Germany knocking USA out in the quarter-final stages. But one of the things that the better teams have done well is when the stall count rises and they get under pressure, is finding that break side opportunity on sand. So nice to see the Mud Crabs doing that. Charles has Müller available behind her. Wagner with the grind, but it's going to be Levka Volchak that'll be tested, and she rips it out of the Portuguese skies. 7-4, Germany take half, 3 breaks up.
Goodness gracious, Levka Volchak, the diminutive frame, getting under that limbo bar, but getting up when needed, has skied some of the greatest in the game, certainly players with a head more of height than her, and she makes it look easy. She goes up with confidence always. She's always in belief that she's got it, as are Germany. They are well ahead right now. It's 7-4 Hannah. They are poised to take the championship as they go into half.
Half-time at the World Beach Ultimate Championships 2025, gold medal action in front of us, and it is Germany in the lead, 7-4, and we're going to throw down to Benji Rees on the sidelines. That's all right. He's just getting himself sorted. It's fine. Well, Steph, if people are just joining us now, what did they miss in the first half?
Well, they missed a heck of a performance by the Germans. 4 for 4 holds, 3 for 4 on break chances. Aussies have not generated a break chance, and that is, yes, because of the efficiency of the German offensive unit. But their defenders have been struggling to really slow down, in particular, the female matching players on the German side. But all of these Germans, they have found a rhythm. They sputtered early in this tournament, a game on stream against India, and I think that was the big slap in the face, the wake-up call. And since then, they've been lights out and a scintillating O-line, and Australia are going to have to dig deep right now into that bag of tricks, change their lines once more, and find a way to slow down this Aussie attack.
Well, of course, last time the German national mixed program played on the sand in Portimão at a championship, that was the EBUC, European Beach Ultimate Championships in 2019. They came short, and I think they've come out real hungry here today. That ball rolls out of bounds. Meyerhofer to bring it forth. A Munich man. And a big shout out to all the Zampel folks back home. Wagner streaking up line, but it's Charles in the replacement. Oh, and that's a huge layout grab! Scott Perry! But a foul call from Vincent Wagner, and the crowd are not happy with that one.
I'm going to want to watch it again to give my opinion, but Scott Perry doing exactly what the Aussies needed. Whether it's going to stand or not is to be determined. Here's the look.
A real mammoth play.
From the mammoth member. Well played, Hannah. Oh, that, the more I see it, the cleaner it looks.
Well, that's a retracted foul after reviewing the Jumbotron. So Perry with the block. This is a big opportunity now. Can the Aussies just hold their metal? McClay. The arm goes up. Reeve. Inside. McClay trying to set the sight. Stall count rising, getting a little bit spicy, and it's a dish over the top and bookends for Scott Perry. Mud Crabs breaking into the second half.
Well, that is exactly what they needed. Scott Perry putting the team on his back here. A new dad with a 3-month-old back home in Queensland. Cat Smith playing his partner over in Australia Div 2 right now, and they are surely as proud as punch to see Scott Perry getting the first break of the game for the Aussies. Can they turn the tides and make this half theirs? Well, that is one way to kick things off into of the second half. What a D. I can understand Wagner. You see, like, the left foot kind of kicks him in the butt at the end of that layout there, but it was so mildly grazing after the play was made. I'm glad Wagner looked up at the screen. Great work with the Jumbotron, as always, and retracted the goal.
Well, our first real sort of spill from the Germany O-line, that was some double cutting that maybe caused a slight bit of confusion for Charlotte Shaw, but what a pounce from Perry. So the Sandstrom streaking on the underneath. Charles with intense coverage, and takes the opportunity with no force whatsoever to rip one out to Luda, and he's getting up in here.
Luder with the goal, cashes in, and good response for Germany. They're not going to let Australia run away with a comeback, and as to be expected, the Germans got broken. They put their best foot forward, but still a lot of hope for the Australian defensive line. But that pressure will be shifted immediately. What the Aussies have struggled with a little bit more is their ability to hold. They're going to get another chance to do that, but take another couple looks. Charlotte Schall just throws absolute fire. The European Player of the Year on grass, won the championship, got the personal accolades, and it's just so evident why every single time you watch.
Well, she's just so nice as well, but we're going to go down to Benji Rees on the sidelines for a little bit of insight.
I was able to have a little bit of a chat with Germany captain Nikki Prien, and she was saying in the first half that offensively really liked the composure, the fact that they just did not give Australia not only any breaks but not even any break opportunities. Defensively, she was really happy with the intensity that they were able to put on this Australian offence, continually forcing them to put these swing lines out on the field.
Thank you for that insight, Benji. We'll go back to you a little bit later, but that one from Wilson is just undercooked.
Jake Wilson, leading stats for the Australians going into this one, has not been able to find his way onto the stat sheet except in the turnover department. He's got 2 throwaways thus far.
It's one of the things that some of certainly the Elder Masters Plus divisions have been maybe complaining about, is the lack of tracking of turnovers, but that's a big old job for our wonderful volunteer crew. Herkins from the top shelf thinks about blasting it downfield, but shoots poached off. Now all players almost in a line. It's going to be a big backhand to business. Paul Herkin makes the magic happen, and that is another break for the Germans, 9-5. Just 4 points away from a 3rd world gold medal for the German mixed program.
There were 0 moments amidst the flight of that disc that I didn't believe business was going to come down with it. The throw by Aaron Wolf was a scorcher, an absolute backhand cannon, full wind up, let loose. Herkins had steps and was never going to lose those steps. He's got the speed. If he ever needed to get into a body out position, he would have done that too. The business, as you mentioned, and as he's known, Paul Herkins does it again. Here's another look. The turn first, and look at this throw by Wolf. Boom, no chance for the defense, only ever Herkins.
Well, we talk a lot about some of the junior programs bringing athletes through. Of course, the German Federation has been doing it at the top level for such a long time now. And those history programs came back to the fore, of course, qualifying for the World Games. Really kind of lifted the whole community. A rising tide lifts all boats, as they say.
Good choice there to let the pole land and roll. It did land in, but luckily dragged out, so at least get to the front of the end zone here.
Reeve, peel off from Hedic, but a little bit too far downfield. Oh, and it just bobbles off the fingertips. That's such a shame. Alex Young with a swing and a miss. Now Sontag to Seibert. Then back. Up line for Galga. MMPs dominating, but almost getting each other's way. And that is a great grab from Linnea Seibert. Great to see her back out in action After recovering from injury, Latif Taucher gets it done.
Germany walk one in this time, and they are doubling up. Seibert, as you said, had a few, well, nearly a whole season out 2 seasons ago, and has excellently recovered, doing it for Tiefse, but it was a World Games alternate from this team as well. Was in Chengdu, ready to go should the need arise. The throw, simple, right down the line. No chance for the defense. Nis Sontag puts it in, and as we mentioned, he spent some time in Queensland, Australia, and Brisbane playing with Mammoth. And of course, the Lunchbox team that came over to WCC. And he is making it sting for the Aussies right now, cashing in for Germany. That's 3 in a row right now for Germany. They are 3 away and 5 ahead. They've got to be having pictures of a medal around their neck by now, and they're all going to have a medal here, but I think those Germans might be seeing gold by now.
I thought coming out into the second half, when the Mud Crabs were able to grab one back against the Germans, that they might be able to open up a little bit of window of opportunity, but it's been players like Herkins right in the middle of your screen that have been denying them the ops. Misha Remy awaiting the matchup, already on the balls of his feet. Grant streaks away, and it's the under for Perry. Zhang. Now Richards is going to open it up. Perry looking behind himself, and oh my goodness, that was a catch and a half. Scott Perry is inhuman today.
Woo! Wow, if they could just clone him for a couple, they'd be in good nick right now. What is going on? His head flipped right back, chin up. And where does he touch? Is there any doubts here? Are there any He's in. He is in. I think everybody sees and reacts at the same time as I did there. Like inch close. He was not far from hitting the tape, but he definitely was torso down, bottom down. And there's a small chat still ensuing between Gauga and Perry.
Honestly, I think
another replay is coming now.
Well, the
yes, you can.
of the Jumbotron.
Unbiased.
I was right there. Would you like my perspective?
Yeah.
I was right there, and I said into my partner's ear, that is too close to call for me.
Yep.
All right, we are at time.
Yeah, we'll go through it.
Okay.
Well, we're going to go to one of our sideline photographers as well for the freeze frame.
I think it's in because his butt is touching the ground.
I think I already called.
Okay, already been called a goal here. We're happy to accept from the replay. All right.
I'm getting some Jason Derulo wiggle wiggle vibes. You know what to do with it.
These are the kind of ones when you're playing pickup or league. As soon as something that spectacular happens and it's that close, yeah, given, done. This is the World Championship. We've got the technology to work it out well. Okay, let's go through the motions. And I think that was resolved well. We got both. The goal does stand. It was the right call, and it was absolutely a jaw dropper. Scott Perry playing out of his skin today.
It's difficult to give player of the match to the losing team, but if anyone's going to get it from the Mud Crabs this morning, it's going to be Scott Perry. Massive blocks, big catches. What an athlete. And rightly so, staying out on the sand. I think this swing line might be the better of the three today. And now it is a case of just trying to grab as many breaks into the Supermask hit trolley as possible to try and run away. But an offsides call will give an immediate bricked pull. So Arvan Muller will bring it about 20 meters. And be guarded by Shelby Pringle. Wagner with the squeeze. Oh, unleashes one to Anna Kroos all over the top. You could see the pinch in from Matt Diggins, but it just sails clean and clear. It's so hard to stop the German throwers. They are all so very good at it.
A great finish, but you just see the difference, how efficiently and quickly Germany are able to score with frequency from beginning to end of this match. There's been a moment or two, the one break for sure for Australia, and a few moments where they've applied enough pressure to believe that Germany might not score, but otherwise it has been scintillating, quick pace, easy openings, low stall counts. And on the flip side, you know, you go back, okay, the last play, a bit of a microcosm, but it's a high stall count, a high risk play, back of the end zone, and you need these absolute spectacular out of your skin plays to put one on the board. And I mean, that's why we see the deviation in the scoreboard here. That is the difference. The O-line efficiency of the German Sandstrom have them 2 goals away from becoming World Beach champions.
Well, the Mud Crabs D-line has been perfect. They are 1 for 1 on break opportunities. But that one's going to swing too high for Holly Reeve and shepherded out by Ludo. Seibert shoots in isolation. Ryan straight under. Oh, but that's a drop. Just tumbles out of the breadbasket and gives the dispatch to the Aussies. The faint clatter of castanets from the sideline. So we watch the Mud Crabs scuttle across the sand. A little bit of a bosh from Reeve. Looks for it from Blacklock. Oh, and just puts it out on a piece of rope, and it hits a beautiful throw, and it will work out. Headage on the collection.
Holly Reeve, great vision there. Looking upfield, putting a wide angle on that. A backhand throw that really just opened the field. She unable to collect the first throw that was too high for her, but shoots, kind of spills one up, and this throw, visionary. No room wasted as she sights the sideline and throws to only one. The only person who could get there was Headich. She had to put the jets on, had to throw the body, but it was still the absolute right throw. As you have a look at this grandstand filling up, Hannah, it's early morning, first of the finals. This is going to be a wild atmosphere. It is a wild atmosphere already, and we've still got 3 more games in front of us.
We certainly do, Steph. We've got a fours showcase, the open final, and then the women's final. And of course, there are 2,277 participants in this World Beach Ultimate Championships across all of our age divisions. And I'm sure they've got a difficult day ahead of them, enjoying the scenes here. Schall to Müller. Really fast turns, but well guarded by the Mud Crabs defenders. Volchak now underneath, no one stretching in towards the deep space, so Schall will take that assignment. And Müller. Back to Meyerhofer. Big gainer. And a delicate grab from Volchak. The Germans in absolutely no rush, with 6.5 minutes of regulation time left. Volchak, oh, it's going to lead Ava Müller, and it's just so perfect. Corkscrews around the defender, and Pringle can't do anything about that.
Oh, that's going to hurt for Pringle. Inches away, her whole body blinding Müller. And Müller, so good of an athlete to be able to show those late hands, adjust as it passes the bidding defender, and still managed to put the strong mitts on. What a play for Mueller. These Germans are charging, and maybe none more than Levka Volchak. What a year it's been.
Yeah, she's usually on the receiving end of spicy passes. Look at this for your money. Of course, Brute Squad with that emphatic win over San Francisco Fury a couple of weeks ago out in the States. USAU Nationals, one of the pinnacles of our sport.
Let's not forget AOUC. She won with Ellipsis this year. She won Copatanga this year, and Paganello with Bling this year. Levka just on a hot streak. And they didn't do too bad at the World Games either.
Well, the wild thing is, Levka Volchak was looking for a women's team to play the EUCF with as well, to see if she could get herself a medal on that European grass stage. None of the teams would have her. Wild.
You see the player awards come out. Levka didn't play European Club Ultimates, or did not get a European Club award. But I don't think there's many that wouldn't agree that she is amongst, if not the best, in Europe. There's a bid.
Well, I love to see that intensity and fire still from Paul Herkins. That's the kind of athlete he is. The inside from Blacklock finds Reeve in space, and she's going to take the shot. An opportunity, just about holds out, but loses the disc as he lays in the sand. No foul call.
I thought he really gave that an extra step. I thought there was a moment he could just go up and put hands on it here, and tried to just take the run instead. And it goes beyond, and this could be it now.
Well, there are a couple of missed opportunities, the end zone. My mind goes back to that big huck to house as well. The Mud Crabs just lacking that extra little bit of polish today. Maybe need to find some chamois cloths buried under the dust here in the Praia de Roche. Oh, and there's nothing funny about that. It's going to be a big one. And Paul Herkins makes it work. He's calling it good. Everyone else.
I think I agree with Herkins. Everybody was silent. It was he caught it when he hit the sand. I mean, I had him in my sights. I definitely thought that his hand was under. He's got a photographer there already. Let's see it one more. Goal. He's under it.
Well, there was a splash of sand around him as he caught it in real time. Yep, that's good.
Yeah, I like it. Semi-anticlimactic when you got to work it out, but not for the players on this team. Germany storm around.
And Steph, everything silent, everything quiet, everything businesslike and professional. And Germany are your World Beach Ultimate Championships. That was just perfect.
A scintillating performance. Germany were the favorites. They knocked off the US, and like the French did last year, they had a tough game in the final, or last cycle, but they were the ones who knocked off the US. They were the ones who made the big news, and they went on and finished the job. Germany did that this time around. They got the big win. They shook up the world in quarters, and then they just got better and better as they went. The sandstorm, even their celebration got better and better as they went. I criticized it to Nikki Priyan, and she asked me again this morning if it's come around to me, and it certainly has. The German sandstorm team and celebration getting it done here.
Well, it is the result that we expected. Looking at the finesse and experience on this Germany beach roster, hats off to the Mud Crabs. They took all of the opportunities given to them by Germany. That being, of course, one. They had one opportunity to get a break. Apart from that, O-line for Germany, absolutely picture perfect. And what more could you want from a morning of Ultimate here? Scott Perry, of course, for the Mud Crabs, having himself a ball out here, but Yanis Gauga has been really putting the pressure on.
Gauga, good game. Volchak, as per usual, a great game. But like, just how clean is that side? 7 for 8 on hold, 6 for 8 on break chances. I mean, the Aussies were 1 for 1, but 8 to 1 is the difference. And that is, why there was such a great score discrepancy here. And I think we've got some action down in the field. Benji Reese, we're going to throw down to him for an interview.
To say that I'm joined here by Levka Volchak. Levka, how are you feeling right now?
you know, just out of my mind. I think the team and the energy, the team vibe is just incredible. They're probably about to do some stupid stuff behind us. And I think that just displays how we've been a unit this week. And I think we just like earned this so much because of the unity and cohesion of our team.
It was a brilliant performance from everyone in the final, both on offense and defense. Why do you think the team was so dialed in today?
I think we were just ramping up all week, and it's just like build up throughout the entire week, and this was supposed to happen, so that's just part of why we're so dialed in. And then like really fun things like that. I don't know if you can see it in the background, but we have those concerts every night and choreographies and dances, and I think that just helps, like that, those good vibes help bringing it during the game too.
On that final layout score, did you think business had it?
I mean, of course I'm a little bit biased, and I definitely was like, yes, he's got it, but also, you know, like stay back for a second, see what they discuss, see what the pictures. I don't know. It could have gone either way, that last catch, but we're ready to celebrate. We are so ready to celebrate.
Obviously, one more question before you go. You had the big win against the US in quarterfinals. How important was it to make sure that you didn't let the levels drop from that and you just kicked on even further?
Of course, after that kind of quarterfinal, I think every game that comes next is just more important because the pressure's on. And that quarterfinal, we could just go out and play and have the best of our, like the best time and the best, I don't know, we could just roll. But then once we beat the US, we really have to like ramp it up even more, get the energy up even higher. So I think that was like a big focus to have a really loud sideline. And I bet you could hear it on the stream too. Our sideline was just incredible and super loud.
Well, thank you so much. I won't keep you any longer. I'll let you go back and celebrate. Congratulations, Levka.
Thank you.
Mixed division champion here at World Beach Ultimate, the championships. Let's throw it up back upstairs to Stefan and Hannah.
Well, a little bit of Frere Jacques, the Germans giving us a proper concert-level performance here against the Mud Crabs on the Praia de Roche sands. That game had so much energy. The stands are electric, and it's just going to get even hotter here in Portugal. But thank you for joining us, your mixed division winners, the gold medalists, third in the world times. It is Germany mixed taking this one over the Aussies with an amazing scoreline. And that will do us for mixed.